The rain hammered the cracked windshield of Ahmed's rickety Suzuki van like 1,000 tiny fists demanding entry. He was late, again. The meter on the dashboard blinked 11:47 p.m., and the narrow alley behind Anarkali Bazaar smelled of wet garbage and diesel. His daughter, Aisha, slept curled against his thigh, her schoolbag clutched like a teddy bear. Ahmed's fingers ached from gripping the steering wheel, but he kept driving, eyes scanning the puddles for the next fare that might pay for tomorrow's milk. Then he saw her. A small figure in a soaked pink frock, standing beneath the flickering tube light of a closed pawn shop. Barefoot. Hair plastered to her cheeks. No older than 8. She raised one trembling hand as his headlights swept over her, as if the light itself might save her. Ahmed's foot hit the brake so hard the van skidded. Aisha jolted awake. Baba? Stay inside, beta. He killed the engine and stepped into the downpour. The girl didn't run. She just stared, wide-eyed, lips blue. When he crouched to her level, she whispered, "I lost my driver." Ahmed's heart cracked like the pavement beneath them. He knew that look, fear wearing the mask of bravery. He'd worn it the night his wife died in the government hospital corridor, clutching his hand while machines beeped their goodbye. "What's your name, little one?" "Zara." "Come. Just for tonight. We'll find your family tomorrow." He offered his calloused palm. After a beat, her tiny fingers slipped into his. Aisha scooted over without being asked, making space on the torn vinyl seat. Zara climbed in, dripping, smelling of expensive shampoo and terror. Ahmed draped his only spare shawl, threadbare, smelling of engine oil, over her shoulders. They drove in silence broken only by the wiper's tired rhythm. At the red light near Data Darbar, Zara spoke again. "My papa will be very angry." Ahmed glanced at her in the rearview. "Angry that you're safe?" She shook her head. "Angry that I left the mall without telling." Aisha, ever the diplomat, tugged Zara's sleeve. "My baba never gets angry. Only worried. Like when I forget my lunchbox." Zara managed a watery smile. Their home was a 2-room flat above a tire shop in Mauzang. The stairs creaked under Ahmed's weight. Inside, the single bulb cast long shadows over peeling wallpaper and a calendar stuck on February, his wife's favorite month. He heated leftover dal on the single-burner stove while Aisha hunted for dry clothes. "These are mine from last year," she said, holding up a faded frock with cartoon cats. "They'll fit." Zara changed behind the curtain that separated the bedroom. When she emerged, the billionaire's daughter looked like any Lahore kid, barefoot, hair towel-dried into ringlets, eyes too big for her face. They ate cross-legged on the charpai. Ahmed served the dal in steel katoris, tearing the last roti into 3 pieces. Zara hesitated, then ate like someone who hadn't tasted food in days. Maybe she hadn't, fear kills appetite. After dinner, Aisha produced her prized possession, a battered box of Ludo. "We play every night," she announced. "House rules, no cheating, even if you're losing." Zara rolled the dice with trembling fingers. On her third turn, she knocked Ahmed's token back to start. Aisha hooped. For the first time, Zara laughed, a sound like wind chimes in a storm. Later, Ahmed laid out extra quilts on the floor. "You take the charpai with Aisha," he told Zara. "I'll sleep by the door." "But." "No buts. Guests are Allah's blessing." He didn't sleep. Every creak of the building made him sit up, hand reaching for the hockey stick he kept for emergencies. At 3 a.m., Zara padded over, barefoot. "I can't sleep," she whispered. "I keep seeing the mall closing." Ahmed lifted the shawl, making space. She curled against his side like a kitten. "Tell me about your papa," he said softly. "He's always in meetings. He says big houses are lonely, but I think he means people are." Her voice cracked. I wanted ice cream. The driver went to park. I thought I'd be quick. Ahmed's arm tightened around her. Tomorrow we'll call him. He'll come running. But what if he doesn't want me anymore? The question hung heavier than the humidity. Ahmed thought of his own father, who'd vanished when he was 9, leaving a debt and a widow. Then you'll stay here, he said fiercely. We have an extra plate. And Aisha needs a sister who cheats at Ludo. Zara's tears soaked his kurta. Dawn painted the rooftops gold. Ahmed was frying parathas when the knock came, 3 sharp raps that rattled the flimsy door. He opened it to find 2 men in crisp suits, earpieces glinting, and behind them, a tall man whose face looked carved from the society pages, Hamza Sheikh, CEO of Sheikh Enterprises, the man whose billboards loomed over Liberty Roundabout. The billionaire's eyes, storm gray, bloodshot, locked on Zara. She stood frozen in Aisha's too small frock, para the crumb on her chin. Zara. One word, broken. She ran. Hamza dropped to his knees in the doorway, arms engulfing her. The suits hovered, unsure whether to applaud or arrest someone. Ahmed cleared his throat. Chai. Hamza looked up, tears tracking through expensive stubble. You kept her safe. She kept us safe, Ahmed corrected. From boredom. Aisha tugged Hamza's sleeve. Uncle, do you like aloo paratha? Baba makes them with love, not just potatoes. Hamza laughed, a sound like breaking glass turning into music. He ate 3. Later, in the tiny courtyard where laundry fluttered like prayer flags, Hamza pulled Ahmed aside. Name your price. Ahmed bristled. She's not a taxi fare. I know. But you gave her something money can't buy. Hamza glanced at Zara and Aisha chasing pigeons. Time. Safety. A father who wasn't too busy. He pressed a card into Ahmed's hand. My factory needs a transport supervisor. Honest pay. School fees covered for both girls. And, his voice dropped, a proper house. Near the canal. Big enough for Ludo tournaments. Ahmed stared at the card, then at his daughter's laughter echoing off brick walls. Only if I drive the van myself. And if Zara visits every Friday. Aisha needs competition. Hamza's smile was crooked. Deal. Months blurred. The new house had a garden where roses fought with marigolds. Ahmed's van, now painted company blue, ferried workers instead of strangers. Aisha's report card boasted straight A's, Zara's showed improvement in sharing toys. But the real change happened on Fridays. Hamza would arrive in casual shower kameez, no entourage, carrying boxes of sohan halwa. The girls dragged him to the courtyard for Ludo. Ahmed cooked, always dal, always the same steel katoris. Hamza learned to tear roti with one hand, to lose gracefully, to let Aisha paint his nails electric blue. One evening, as monsoon clouds gathered, Hamza found Ahmed on the rooftop fixing the water tank. I fired the driver, Hamza said without preamble. The one who left her. Ahmed grunted. Good. But I almost fired myself. Hamza's voice cracked. I was in Tokyo when she vanished. Boarded the jet mid-presentation. Didn't care about the merger. Ahmed set down the wrench. Kids don't need mergers. They need you at 3 a.m. when nightmares come. Hamza nodded. I'm selling the penthouse. Moving here. Zara wants a room next to Aisha's. Says the mansion echoes. Ahmed hid his smile behind a cough. Echoes are expensive. That night, thunder shook the windows. Zara and Aisha burst into the parents' room, dragging blankets. Group sleepover, they declared. Hamza raised an eyebrow at Ahmed. House rules. Ahmed sighed theatrically. No cheating at Ludo, even in dreams. They squeezed onto two charpayas pushed together. Rain drummed approval on the tin roof. Somewhere between Zara's giggle and Aisha's snore, Hamza whispered, "Thank you for teaching me how to be a father." Ahmed, half asleep, muttered, "Thank the rain. It brought her to my door." Years later, when reporters asked Hamza Sheikh about the turning point in his life, he never mentioned stock prices or acquisitions. He spoke of a night in Mauzang, of dal served in steel bowls, of a poor driver who offered his last roti to a lost princess. And on the wall of their canal-side home hung a framed photo, 4 figures on a rooftop, arms linked against the sunset. Beneath it, in Aisha's careful handwriting, "Family isn't where you're born. It's who shows up when the rain won't stop." If this story warmed your heart the way it did mine, hit that like button. It's the roti we share with strangers. Subscribe for more tales of ordinary heroes, and tap the bell so you never miss a Friday Ludo night. Because sometimes, the richest people are those who open their doors at midnight.